Welcome to Cardano FX, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Carlos Lara, and today we're going to be talking about Nuke. Nuke is actually a compositing application, one of the best ones, if not the best one ever. And we're going to talk about the main features of this application. This is going to be like a mini training kind of thing. And this is because a lot of people is trying to subscribe to our training courses, and then when we are in the process of getting everything together, putting everything together, they are like, okay, yeah, because I want to use Nuke for editing my videos. And we're like, what? All right, stop right there. Right, so that's why we decided to make different kind of sets of mini training courses. We have already Maya there, and we're gonna be making videos for Houdini, 3D Max, probably Cinema 4D, etc., so that you can see the difference, because that's one of the other questions that we have a lot. Which one is better? Which one is the best? So that way, if you try first, you can take a little 3 hours, 2 hours course, and then if you find that that's the tool that you really want to use, then you can come and take another training or a complete training with us. We have different type of options: 3 months where you will get the basics of all that, then 6 months or 12 months where we have, for example, in this case, Nuke, we talk about compositing and all the different options and all the different the pipeline that comes with the process of compositing. But well, let's stop that right now, and all the commercials and things like that. And but let's get started. The first thing is that we need to know that Nuke is a compositing application, and by compositing, I mean that we can take components and we can put all these different components into one single component, what we are going to be calling composition. All right, so in this case, this is my composition, and I have two different images here. I have the before and after, and if I press 1, you will see that this is my before, and it's just a simple picture. That's my first component. Then I talk what we call the logo, or our old logo, and we place it on top of these images, or on top of this image, and that's our composition. We talk that component and we place it on top of the other component. We fix some of the stuff in there. We cut a little bit of this area here, and we just duplicated it right here at the back. Now this is not a very nice composition, because there's we need a lot more stuff here in order to make it perfect. First of all, you need to make sure that the objects that you're going to be pasting, kind of share the same environment of whatever you want to do. And I'm not talking about that, these things should be a realistic object. No, if you want to place here a cartoon, you can do that, and that's a composition too. But what I mean is that you need to make sure that the feeling of whatever you are trying to achieve is there. Now, in this case, we were just playing around, and we want to. I had this image, and I was doing another class, and I took this, and I was making an example, and that's what we had at the end. And obviously, we need some blurriness here in order to make it feel more realistic, but that's not the case right now. I just want you to know that what we're going to be doing with Nuke, it's all these kind of things, okay, where you can take one object, place it. It's kind of like Photoshop, where you can edit your images, but now we are talking about editing images in movement, like animation and things like that. We can bring 3D objects and move in actually in real 3D, and then we can make these 3D objects interact with our real actors. So now that's the main thing about Nuke. Now another thing is that a lot of people think that this is a 3D application, and I have to tell you, yes, it is a 3D application. And you probably are like, what? Yeah, Nuke is a 2D and 3D application, but their main goal is compositing. Okay, it's a 3D application for compositing, it's a 2D application for compositing, but we can say that is a compositing application with 3D capabilities and 2D composition options. I don't know, the point is that this application is for compositing, and even though we have 3D, it's not like Maya or 3D Max or anything like that. Okay, we have something, and you probably will see that in another movie. But for now, let's I have to teach you, or I have to let you know that we have a lot of different panels here, and all these panels are actually our main workspace where we actually going to be working all the time with our files. And the first one obviously is the main menu. Right here we have our main menu, and now with this menu you can call all sorts of different commands. Like for example, I can go and create a new script. I can click here and create a new one, and that will, Nuke is going to try to work, and there we go. We have a new comp, or a new script in this case. Now you can see that I have this black area now because I don't have my image, and that's fine, but because I want to show you that this other section, the black section, is called our viewer. And the viewer is where we are going to see all our modifications. I mean, it's like your monitor is how your monitor. And here we will see all the changes in our images. You can see if you switch one parameter here on your right in the properties panel, you will see that affecting in your viewer. Now the viewer contains a lot of different tools. This is one of the most powerful viewers I ever seen for compositing. As you can see, we have all our this entire section is the one that is going to allow us to see different channels, different layers, and things like that. Then we have options for comparisons. We have our 2D and 3D viewers. We have cameras. We have different options for looking at our Zebra stuff. I mean, we have tons and tons of different cool things. Now let me bring an image here. So I'm just gonna press R. Okay, I'm gonna place my cursor here. I'm gonna press R, and for example, I'm gonna bring this one called fire, and it's just a simple image. There we go. We have something, and now the thing here is that our viewer is giving us an idea of what the size of this image is, as you can see here. And that's the cool thing about this. We have all sort of information. Now this is the size of the object. You can see that we have a HD kind of setting here, and it's automatically giving us all that information. Now if you're not satisfied with this, probably because we are working like this, we're getting closer to this area. Now you're probably, oh, what is the format that I'm using? Don't worry, we have HD right here. You can see the same values. You have the size and all that. Now you can see the values of color here also. You can see that when I move my cursor on top of this image, everything is changing in this region. Now I have the hue, saturation values here. You can change all that if you want, and that's part of your view of the viewer. And at the same time, you have all the playback controls. You can play, stop, rewind, and change the frame rate, all that inside this area. And another thing that I want to show you is that if you click in these little guys, I mean, we have this kind of, I don't know what they are, but you can see there's two little things here in between the HD and the 38. So if you click once, you're going to open a duplicate of that one. But if I press again, I'm going to call my depth graph. And right now, probably you don't know what is what can we do with this, and we will discuss that later on. But because right now we want to talk about the main features, and that's why this one is kind of hidden there, because it's not really one thing that we are going to be using all the time. But okay, so now the next thing is that we have our toolbar, this one right here at my left. You can see we have all these cool graphics, and if you click on one of these, for example, I can click here, I can see different tools, and a lot of tools inside Nuke, they actually represent, or we represent these tools with nodes, or nodes represent tools. The way you want to see it, it doesn't really matter. But we can call our tools from this menu, and I'm going to show you also how you can call tools with different methods. But for now, we're going to be using these options first. So now we have all these tools, and then at in this area where you can see this little kind of thumbnail of my big image, what I have here is one tool. I have one tool called the read one, and this is actually a tool. If I go here to my tool, you can see that I can see the read, okay, with the letter R, and that's one tool. Then I have another one here called the viewer, and like I told you, we can call them tools, we can call them nodes. And if we want to call them nodes, we will say that we have a read node and then we have a viewer node. And this area where these nodes are located is what we're going to be calling the node graph. All right. Then we have the curve editor where we're going to, it's like where we can tweak our animations and things like that. And then we have our dope sheet. So these are the main areas here in this region down here. And then if we go to our right, you will see the properties panel, this one right here. And with the properties panel, I can see the properties of my tools, but also I can see the properties of this viewer if I want to. I can see the properties of my script, or which is the properties of this project. And that's why we really need it, because it's not only for properties of one specific option. All the properties are going to be here, and here's where we are going to be changing a lot of different options, because that's the main thing. If we want to work with our tools, we need somehow, we need to get access to them. And I will say that these all the tools that we have here are just a graphic representation of where these tools are located, but the main portion of this is actually the parameters, okay, what we can tweak. All right, so now that's the main thing about the different panels that we have. Now we can come here, for example, if I place my cursor in between the viewer and the node graph, in this case, you can see that I have my cursor changes, and now I have something pointing up and down. So I can take that, click and drag, and that way I can change the size of this node graph. But obviously I am affecting the size of the viewer. Then I can go here, for example, I can select this other one in the vertical line, and I can change my properties, and I can make them bigger, and I can make them smaller. It doesn't matter. I have all that flexibility inside Nuke. And the same thing, I can come and make this one bigger, which doesn't make a lot of sense because we don't have all that space is being wasted right now. Then other thing we can do is actually I can duplicate this, or excuse me, I can bring it up and make it a floating window, so I can take it and place it in another monitor and things like that. So then I can come here and I can make it a float. I can make a floating panel, just the way we did it. You can come here and select, for example, that you want to see the node graph in here, and that way we change that, and now we have the node graph on top, and now our curve editor down here, and still the properties are waiting for us. So as you can see, we can manipulate our interface the way we want. And another thing that I can do is probably take this properties panel and just drag it, and I can place it right here, this the other side of the window. And it's just like that. Just take the object and try to place it. You're gonna see when in the areas where you can place that, you're gonna see an orange line, and that way you can drop it right there. And now I have my toolbar showing. We're seeing our toolbar just like that. Then we can take this one and make a new viewer, for example, if I want to. Then I have a new viewer, but this viewer is not connected, so that's why we don't see anything. But I can take my read node and I can connect it to the viewer, and now I have one viewer here, and I have another viewer right here. I know probably it's it's confusing right now, but as we move on, you're gonna be like, okay, I know what you mean. Perfect. So let's try to, I can close this one if I want to, and now I don't have my viewer number one, but that's okay. What you can do is come to this section where we have the layout options in our main menu, and something that you can do is actually come here and restore your layouts. I can say, you know what, I really like this layout. I want to keep it forever because I'm in love with this one. So if you are in love with your layout, what you can do is just come here and save it. I can save it in layout number 6, in number 5, number 4, it doesn't matter. Now, I really don't like it, so I'm gonna go and I'm gonna restore everything to my layout number 1. So I'm gonna click here, and there we go. I have my my layout the way I want it. So I'm gonna press 1 in order to connect my viewer with to my read node, and now everything is the way it was before at the beginning of this training. Another thing is that I'm changing the shape of my of my interface, because I am recording in different dimensions, not dimensions, but I mean the dimensions of the size of my screen is not the same that I have in my monitor, because I am reducing that so that you can see all the interface. But that, you know what I mean. It's not like why your interface is a lot different than mine. It's not really that is not a problem. It's just that I'm stretching everything in order to make it fit in this kind of format. And well, actually, that's I think that's all I want to let you know at this point. You have all these options for if you want to restore your layouts. You can save your layouts, like I show you. You have already probably different versions. For example, if I click like that, and now I'm making it really really big, and because that's the layout that I was that is by default right there. So I'm just gonna click on my saved and on the layout that I have saved for these purposes, and I have my object the way I want it. So for now, that's it. Thank you very much. I will see you in our next movie. And remember, if you, sometimes I talk in Spanish, but if you want me to keep uploading these type of programs, type of courses and things like that, just don't forget to subscribe, and that way we will see that we are doing the right thing. And if you give us a like, same thing, all right? So you are the one that is telling us, okay, you're doing something good or you're doing something really bad, and we want to know that. Thank you very much, and I will see you later. Bye bye for now.